To screen or not to screen? That is the... Screen, please. Hi everybody, my name is Nate, and you are watching WASD20, a channel about tabletop RPGs and fantasy maps. On today's video, I am going to be reviewing the Valhalla screen from Dogmite Games. But real quick, before we talk about the screen, I want to recognize a big milestone that the channel recently reached, and that is the 100,000 subscriber mark. To me, it's a really big deal, and over the last week or so since that happened, I just keep on telling myself, don't screw this up, Nate. Do not screw this up. So it's not something I normally do on the channel, but I think this moment deserves a dance party. Thank you for indulging me, and thank you all so much for your support of this channel, for watching my videos, sharing them with your friends, and being subscribers, and being such a great WASD20 community. And if you're not yet subscribed, you can go ahead and hit the button down below, and you can even hit the little bell icon so you get notifications whenever I post new videos. But now, Dungeon Master screens. I am a big fan of a good Dungeon Master screen. I like to have a little bit of privacy for my DM notes, maybe to hide the page on the monster manual that I am in, or to hide my miniatures so that my players don't see the big bad before they kick the door down. And while I almost always roll my dice out in the open in front of the screen for my players, there are times when a private roll is necessary or beneficial, in my opinion. But is this Dungeon Master screen, the Valhalla screen from Dogmite Games, the screen for the job? Is it worth the pretty hefty price tag you'll see on these things? Let's get down to it and take a closer look. Now, I should first note that this is not a sponsored video. I am not being paid in any way for this review, but Dogmite did send me this screen for review purposes, and I want to thank them very much for it because I've been thinking about getting one of these for a very long time. As always, however, I intend to be completely honest in this review, giving you the unfiltered good and bad. With that out of the way, let's take a closer look. All right, here we have it, folks. This is the Dogmite Valhalla screen. As you can see, it's got 3 panels. They are held together by magnets on the ends of each. There's just these metal bars in between each panel that stick in there magnetically, and then you can stick the screen together. Now, that does make it fairly fragile to move around. It does tend to fall apart if you move it too much. But it works as long as you're keeping it fairly stationary. I absolutely love the sculpting on this screen. This one happens to be Yggdrasil, the world tree, and it looks beautiful. Sculpting is very bumpy and 3-dimensional. It's kind of got this foreground sculpting, the tree across, the ground and roots below. And then it's also got a subtle background sculpting that's less raised, but gives you the impression that there's more forest behind this. So I think it's really nice looking. It's also nice that it actually curves up a little bit here and it's not just straight across. Now let's talk wood selection here. The one that I have is the black walnut, and black walnut is about a middle of the road option. You can get this screen with no sculpting for $205, just 3 black walnut panels. There are definitely some cheaper ones. You can get a whole bunch in the $155 to $170 range, but once you add the sculpting, you are adding another $100. So really, what you're seeing here, these 3 panels in this wood with this sculpting, costs $305 if I'm reading their website right. That does not include some of the extras, which we'll get to in a moment. Now, there are also some engraved options. If you're not into the sculpting, you can save a little bit of money by going with an etched look that has, rather than a 3D kind of sculpted bumpy effect, it will just be lines carved into it, and like some pretty cool drawings. So I'll show some of those here. Those range anywhere from $60 to $80 instead of $100 for the sculpting. Now let's go ahead and look at the inside of the screen. You can see that it has magnets just like the edges of each panel do, and it also comes with some of these plexiglass panels. So you can stick this up here, you can dry erase marker on it, wet erase, whatever. Take some notes if you want to.
Or you can absolutely put some paper behind it as well, using it to hold your DM notes up just like that. I should note that I did have one minor issue. One of these magnets popped out as I was pulling it off the screen, so I actually just super glued it back in there, and it looks like maybe how they did it. And there's still some glue residue there. I've been meaning to take some Goo Gone to it. I assume that'll take care of it. But other than that very minor issue, I have had no problems with the build quality of this. I think overall it is excellent. In addition, each screen comes with these little magnetic bearings here, and these can stick your DM notes on quite easily as well. And really, you can just have one holding it here, and it doesn't take much. So that's a really nice thing too. It comes with a whole bunch of these. So you could potentially just line your whole DM screen with notes, and I'm not even using all the magnets here, so I could put a bunch more on there as well. System reference stuff, you can print out your own kind of custom DM screen stuff. There's lots of stuff online with that. And your own game prep notes like this. However, there are some other accessories that you can get as well. One of them is a pen holder. Put your pencil in there, maybe a wet erase marker there. This is a matching wood, black walnut, with 2 magnets to hold it in the back. You can even put it on top of this. Another accessory I really like is this shelf right here. You got miniatures, you got dice, little gaming tokens, or whatever other accessories you might need as a dungeon master. Now it does come with another one of these panels I can put over there, but lastly, let's talk about this. This is a dice tower, and it comes with this little rolling tray here. So that's really cool. It just has 2 magnets on this one. Nice low profile dice tower. Let's go ahead and roll. Nice. If you're wondering, by the way, what kind of dice these are Game Science. I'll put a link down in the video description. So yeah, really handy little dice tower. I really like the design of it. Definitely a little bit of sawdust still in there from the factory, it looks like. But yeah, this is a pretty nice little thing. This front panel here is not magnetic. It does not come off. It is fixed in place, but 2 magnets on the back. And the little dice tray here looks really nice. It looks like it's all made out of one piece of wood, and just the inside is carved out. And it's got this pretty plain black felt in there. Definitely does the job. So all in all, it's a pretty simple little system, but very stylish. Now the prices for these accessories vary. This one right here is $15 for the base, and I think in the black walnut it was $24. The dice tower itself, as well as the shelf, were $75 each in the black walnut, but if you get some of the less expensive woods, you can get them for $45 each. Lastly, it does come with some of these little initiative trackers here. So these can fit pretty easily in the top of the screen. Now you can notice that there is a little bit of tippiness because of the shape of my screen. If you get one that is flat across the top, you would not have that issue. I'm not totally sure that these would replace my little note card ones that I really like. But I thought maybe I could actually glue those to these or tape them to these. And either way, these are nice because they are dry and wet erase. And they also make some metallic ones that are dry and wet erase as well. And you can even get your own custom wooden ones that you can have custom etching into. Obviously, you'll pay a bit more for that. But yeah, the initiative trackers are a nice touch. There's this groove that's all the way along the top of the screen here that allows these to fit in pretty well. And I think they only add about $12 to the total price of the screen here, so it's really not a very expensive item.
So I've given you a really detailed look at the screen here, and now it's important to talk about the good and the bad. So let's get the bad out of the way first. Obviously, the price is really, really high. I don't think it's too high. I think it is reasonably priced, but it is an expensive item, a specialty boutique item for the discerning gamer. For those who are thinking it might be worth the investment, there are a couple of other downsides that I should mention. First off, it's not very mobile at the table. Trying to move it from one end of the table to another is a little bit tricky, and I found it falling apart on me quite a bit at first at the joints here, until I really learned how to move it well. It usually involves moving it more slowly than I'd like to, and now I'm pretty able to move it even from table to ground without having it fall apart. So I've gotten better at it, I've gotten used to it. However, if you are carrying it from place to place, like over to a friend's house or to a game shop or gaming convention, it's going to be a bit tricky to pack it safely because you really need to protect each panel individually from the other panels. For now, I've just been storing it in the original box and bubble wrap that it came in, but eventually I would like to get some foam pads that I'm going to cut to the lengths here. They do actually sell a carrying case, and it's actually pretty reasonably priced at $28. It's got a nice Dogmite logo and some foam within to protect the individual parts. For me, I don't really travel much with this, and when I do, I'm probably not going to be bringing this screen, especially if I'm going to a gaming convention and I have a backpack full of gaming stuff and possibly even buying more at the convention. Something like this is really, really nice, but it's probably not going to make the cut in terms of weight and space. Now, some of you may also have concerns about the fact that it's only 3 panels when you're used to a 4-panel Dungeon Master screen like the official D&D ones here. And personally, I thought that that would bother me, but once I actually got it set up, I realized I don't really use the 4 panels. The 4 panels usually tend to have 2 going out like this, and then the other 2 facing me, and that's kind of wasted space. I don't need those side panels so much. I just need something that is kind of shielding me from my players a little bit, and this definitely does the job just fine and actually saves a bit of space for me on the table because I can just put it up here like a bit of a wall. So to end things on a properly positive note, I am a huge fan of this Dungeon Master screen. I think it is an excellent product from a very highly reputable company. That's another important thing. You want to buy from a company that has a reputation for good customer service and customer care, and Dogmite definitely fits the bill there. It certainly is not cheap, but for those of us who have dedicated a large portion of our lives to this hobby, something like this is just an excellent centerpiece for your gaming table and something that will probably get decades of use. I have found it extremely useful and a joy to use in terms of the practicality with all these accessories here. That's been really nice. And certainly in terms of the beauty and the aesthetic that it adds to my gaming table. It's certainly not for everybody and probably not for most gamers, but it is an awesome product, would make a great gift for a Dungeon Master, and I highly recommend it. One thing that I actually mentioned to Dogmite is that I think it would be really cool to get a kind of generic looking fantasy map style DM screen, and they seemed open to that idea. If anything like that ever happens, I will definitely put a link down in a pinned comment below. All right, that's all for this one, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, leave those down below. I always love to hear from you. I'd like to thank my patrons so much for their support of this channel. These are the people who are making it happen for me here. If you enjoy this content and you want to see it keep coming, consider joining with these amazing people over at patreon.com/WASD20. Thanks again, everybody. Take care. You'll see me again very soon.